Hey guys, so today I'm filming an impromptu first impression on a new foundation that I just bought yesterday. This is the Hard Candy Glamoflague Invisible Camouflage Foundation. So I heard about this from Crystal Lynn. She posted a picture on her Instagram and I ran to Walmart to check it out because the Hard Candy Glamoflague Concealer was really popular a couple years ago, which is when I picked it up, and it was supposed to be a dupe for the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo Concealer. So back in the day when I tried that concealer, they only had a light, medium, and deep shade, and now they have expanded their range to about 7 or 8 shades, which is pretty good. So when I saw this foundation, I knew I had to try it out, and I'm wondering if it will be comparable to the Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo Foundation, which I do have, as you can see here. I do have a first impression on this as well. I have it linked down below. So I will let you know whether I think the Hard Candy Glamoflague is comparable to the Kat Von D. I really hope so because I love that foundation. So this is a brand spanking new product. Before this video, I tried to go online to look up information about the product and the shades, and I could not find it anywhere. It was not even on the Hard Candy website. So this is brand spanking new. So you have to go to your Walmart to get those details. I think I'm going to go back to Walmart so I can find out all the colors for you guys and list them down below. As I recall, there were about 8 shades in this line, which is not very good, but it's decent. You might just have to mix a couple shades to find your perfect match. And I do have to say that the shades were off as far as their names. I have the lightest shade, 930 Porcelain, but the shade Light, which is what I used to wear in the concealer, was totally a medium shade. It was very, very dark for anybody to even consider it a light. So the name is totally off, but the colors did look really nice. So I will have to find out that information for you guys. So let's just look at the packaging. This is actually a clear bottle, so this is the color of the actual product, which I really love. And then it has this silver cap, which is actually pretty crappy plastic. And then the name is on the bottom. But guess what? It has a pump. How exciting is that? I know that not enough drugstore foundations come with the pump, so I was really happy about that. And on this bottle, it actually has some claims that I would read to you. It says, a transforming liquid powder foundation that absorbs oil, camouflages imperfections, and delivers a long-lasting velvet finish. This skin-perfecting fluid contains superfine pigments for seamless full coverage without looking caked on. Infused with kaolin clay for exceptional wear and oil absorption. Skin retains natural moisture for 12 hours of flawless perfection and transfer resistance. It pairs perfectly with our Glamoflague concealer for extra covering power. And this brand is also cruelty-free in case that's something you feel very passionate about. So I'm going to be applying this today with my RC Cosmetics flat top angled kabuki style brush. This is in their highlight and contour kit, so I'll have that linked down below. This brush is something I've been using recently and it does a great job to give really full coverage and blend in foundation. So we are just going to take a little bit, pump it out, and this is what the color looks like. So that looks awesome for me, so fingers crossed it looks just as good on the skin. So I'm not really sure how much to apply, so I'll do one side of my face at a time. This actually feels super velvety going on. It is not thick at all like the Kat Von D foundation. I'm just pumping out like a little bit at a time because I don't want to get too crazy. So it looks like I'm applying a lot, but they're really little thin dots. So now I'm just going to take my RC Cosmetics brush and blend this into my skin. The color looks light enough, so that's incredible. I was kind of worried that it would be too pink, but it also does not look too pink, so that's really exciting. It looks really good so far, if you can see this coverage. So that is one side of my face done, and as you can see, this foundation is actually a little bit light for me, which hardly ever happens. This did give some nice medium coverage, I would say, but it does feel very lightweight. I can't feel anything on my skin. So now I'm gonna see if it's buildable. I'm gonna go back on top of my cheeks where I have more pigmentation, and hopefully this builds nicely. It blended out amazingly, so I was really impressed by that. And that definitely was buildable, so that is really exciting and impressive as well. So for it to be thin but give such great coverage is really, really impressive to me. So this is what the foundation looks like with one layer all over my face but a second layer on my cheeks. Like I said, this is actually too light for me, which is really, really strange. I didn't think it would be, because if you see the bottle compared to my face, the bottle is much darker, so I guess that this actually lightens up on the skin, which is kind of weird. So keep that in mind, because look at the bottle, look at my face, like totally different colors. So that's kind of weird, but I think I can still work with this. Fingers crossed. So guys, now I'm just going to apply some under eye concealer and set my face. I'm going to use the e.l.f. HD powder, which will not mattify me or give me any coverage. So right now it is 11 o'clock. I will check back in with you once I've applied all the rest of my makeup and a couple times throughout the day to let you know how this is held up. So I will see you in a little bit. Hey guys, so I am back for my first check-in. It is 2 p.m. so I've had this foundation on for 3 hours, and this is what the foundation looks like with the rest of my makeup on. I think it looks really good. So I've had this foundation on for 3 hours, like I said, and I don't have any oil breakthrough yet, which is really good. I usually get some breakthrough around my nose and the center of my forehead, so I haven't had any at this 3-hour mark, which is actually pretty standard. I can stay matte for 3 hours, so at least I have that. So now talking a little bit more about the product itself. So comparing this bottle to my face, I feel like my face looks so much lighter. When I was dotting this foundation on, it looked like a fair shade with a yellow undertone, but when I started to blend it into my skin, I felt like it showed up like straight white. So this is too light for me, but I do have a way that I am going to work with it. So first off, I have this NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation in the shade number 2 Nude, which is a little bit too dark for me. So I think these two pairs together will give me my perfect color. I will definitely update you and let you know that. I really wanted to try it today, but of course I really wanted to evaluate this foundation on its own without the help of any matte powder. So the other way I plan on using this foundation is to mix it in with some of my other foundations that are a bit too dark for me. For example, my Kat Von D Lock It Tattoo. I love this foundation, but it is a bit too dark for me, so I think if I mix some of this hard candy, it will help lighten it up and hopefully come out to be my perfect color. So I'm really excited about that, actually, because most of my foundations are at least a hair too dark for me, so hopefully this will really help me out in that way. But as far as the foundation formula, I really like it. I could not believe how velvety it felt on my skin, and I can't feel any makeup on my face right now, which is so impressive. And also the fact that it was such a thin consistency, not runny, but it felt thin on my face, but yet it still gave great coverage. It was about a medium coverage, and I was able to build it to full on my cheeks, which I like because I don't need full coverage all over my face, really just this cheek area. So I was really impressed by that. I will check back in with you about 5 or 6 p.m. and then I'll have a text post at the end of the night with my final thoughts. So I will see you in a bit. Hey guys, I'm back for my second check-in. It is 5 p.m. so I've been wearing this foundation for 6 hours and I think it has held up really great. I have a slight bit of oil around my nose and in the center of my forehead, and it hasn't started to break down the product. I can just feel it coming through. So I'm going to take one ply of toilet paper and just blot the areas and see how that works, because we can also see if it transfers. So there is little to no product on this piece of toilet paper, which is great. That gives me great hope for transferring. And I have to say that I am so impressed with this. It does give really nice medium buildable to full coverage, but because of its lightweight velvety texture, it does not look cakey on the skin. I have never felt a foundation that was so velvety. I just can't get over that. It was really incredible. And I told you that I was going to give you a little comparison at the end, and these are not dupes. The consistency of the Kat Von D is much thicker and it gives much more full coverage, so these are not dupes, but both are good foundations. So as far as the application of this foundation goes, I did really enjoy using this RC Cosmetics angled flat top brush. I think it really helped buff the product into my skin and give more full coverage without leaving any brush streaks or making me look cakey. I will try this foundation with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge and let you know how that works. I'm wondering if this is going to sheer out the coverage too much for my liking, but I will update you on that. Another thing I wanted to mention about this foundation is the fact that I do have some more dry patches on my skin, and this did not cling to it whatsoever. So I think this foundation would be great for a wide variety of skin types unless you are super dry. but if you are normal with a couple dry patches, combo, or oily, I think this foundation would be awesome for you. So the one thing I do want to warn you about again is their shade selection. Because this does lighten once it's on your face, go either 1 or 2 shades up from what you think you would be. So unfortunately that means there will not be very many options for deep skin because of that lightening factor. So overall, I definitely recommend this foundation. I think it is awesome, and I also love their concealer. I think they would pair nicely together because even though this did give medium buildable to full coverage, I do still have some of my blemishes peeking through because I didn't cake this on. So I think this velvety, lightweight, medium buildable to full coverage foundation with their full coverage concealer would just give me that flawless face. So I recommend both of those products. So guys, that was my 6-hour update. I will let you know in a text post at the end of the night how it has held up. I will give you my pros and cons and my final thoughts. If you guys have tried this foundation, please leave your thoughts in a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.